I'm April.
And I'm Caroline. And this is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
This is Caroline.
It's Thursday.
I'm so thirsty.
So thirsty. Our special guest is back in the studio with us. Say hey.
Hey, I'm back.
Two Aprils on one couch.
2 Aprils, 1 couch.
Yeah.
Nice. What we didn't do last time is we introduced April, but we didn't put her through those random awkward questions that we put through all of our guests. Yeah. So on the spot right now, the one I always remember is
the best one.
Were you exposed to porn as a child?
Oh, she had to think about it.
Shit.
That's not good. That's not good. She had to think about it.
Oh
no.
I'm trying to think. I mean, like
She
porn, like on TV.
Or
anything.
magazines.
Like, if you were 1 to 10 years old, that was what I consider like a job. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
No, I mean,
like
I saw some boobs like on Skinamax.
Skinamax.
Yep. So basically, that's a yes.
You know.
Basically.
I'm pretty sure that's a yes.
You know, all those movies would come on at like 10, and you're supposed to be asleep, but then you get thirsty and you walk through, and you see a boob or two.
I mean, I feel like that doesn't
Calling
count,
in on
but
Pam.
I feel like,
But at 10, right? At 10,
yeah. I mean, that. Were you like?
I mean, I might have caught a peek.
She liked it.
I didn't say I liked it, but I might have caught
You
a
didn't
peek.
have to say it.
What did you do when you went back to your room after you saw those boobs?
I was just like, well, now I know why I have to go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Now it all makes sense. Okay, so
Gosh.
Caroline, do you have a question?
Do you have any tattoos? And if you do, what are they or where are they?
Yes, I have 3 tattoos. One on my ankle.
Is it a butterfly? Do you have a tramp stamp? It's really what I want to know.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes.
I knew it. I just felt it. And then the porn question just
Solidified
clarified
it.
Yeah.
3.
Okay,
Do you
that's
still have
only
to wear
one. One on
Band-Aids?
your ankle, one tramp stamp, and one on your left boob. No?
Nope.
Oh.
No boob tattoos.
One of
where it
one
is.
of my sisters, sorry, you don't listen anyway, so she had a drunk night and she's obsessed with dinosaurs.
No.
Yeah. A Brontosaurus with the long neck. She got an outline of that like on her butt cheek.
Which one?
Alex, you're welcome.
The good sister.
I don't know. She had a little moment. She had a moment.
I'll never.
What's your third one? I can't remember where it is now.
Oh, on my wrist.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
One more. You can't even think of one?
If you see an upside down pineapple, what do you think?
Oh my gosh. Well, I recently learned this at your house.
At your house and the mulch.
Yeah, like
I know.
we had a sleepover at April's house.
Oh, sounds real sketchy.
It does sound sketchy. And we talked about this. I did not know upside down pineapples was a thing, and I didn't know red mulch was a thing. Red, right?
Red mulch.
Yeah, red
Now
mulch.
you know.
Like there's a whole
Now you
community of people out there that look for upside down pineapples and red mulch.
And red mulch.
Yeah.
And I go to my mom's house and guess what's on the placemat?
Red mulch on a placemat.
A pineapple on the doormat.
What?
And
a
then I go to
placemat
my
on a table or a doormat on the front porch?
I go to my mom's house,
Yeah.
and when I walk in, there's a doormat and there's a pineapple on it.
On the inside of the house or the outside?
The outside.
Like welcome.
Like
This
the
is an
welcome
upside down
mat.
pineapple
It's a
house. I
pineapple.
hope you're ready.
But when you're looking at it, it's right side up. I told her about it, and she was like, I just like pineapples.
Yeah, right. I ain't buying it.
Why do you like those pineapples,
ain't-
Miss Monica?
ain't
Why do
buying
you
it.
like those pineapples?
Let me just tell y'all right now, I'm about to get attacked by April's mic stick because it is literally in my nostril.
It is.
So
It is.
I just want to
You
tell
have to
you,
dig
if I
in your
have
nose.
some-
You don't even have to.
Yeah, I don't even have to because I got that to do it for me. Okay, that was great. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm just jumping. Is there anything else?
No, but I do want to. What do y'all think about this? After the end of this month, right? Which this will be. Should this be the last episode? Yeah, Ted Bundy will be the last episode, part 2
Of our serial killer. Yes.
I think we should put a poll out and let them vote on their. Do I say favorite? But some people are like, why would I favor the serial killers? Your favorite killer, or the most interesting, or the most crazy. It'll be out of Kemper, BTK, Dahmer, and old Teddy Bear.
Teddy Bear?
Oh, Teddy Bear. So I would just like to see, I always hear Ted Bundy's everybody's favorites. You like cartel related stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some good ones.
Cartel related. Kind of makes me scared.
Nah, bro. Well, let us know. We'll put a poll up. April will put a poll up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you should continue with Ted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I recently heard that the United States is going to get some Ukrainian refugees, and I was wondering if I should possibly like look into getting like a
Housing?
30-year-old male, 30-ish-year-old male refugee. So, we could like
Be roommates, or
You're going to post it on Craigslist?
are you going to put it on Craigslist?
I mean, I could. It's basically like a mail order bride.
Oh, you want to offer them a place to stay for a green card.
Yeah.
Forget NATO. They're just going to be full American, right?
Yeah. Should I do it?
No. Are
He could
Ukrainians
be
circumcised?
What?
Are Ukrainians circumcised?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Why don't you look it up? Why would I even know?
No, I don't know why that even came to my
It's just
head.
an American thing, April. Just Americans do
That's
that.
true. There are
a lot of
foreign
other,
people
yeah.
usually aren't. I think maybe I don't know actually. So that was my random question. So
No, don't get a roommate and don't do a mail order Ukrainian husband.
I was just like, if they need a place to go, I'll just request a mail.
To the shelter.
Compassion Ministries.
Not your house.
Please step up.
Well, okay. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna start with Ted.
Yes. Give me some Ted.
So we ended off with Linda Ann Healy. She was the one who was in the apartment with a bunch of other roommates, and she was murdered, right? That's basically it. So we're going to jump right into the next one.
Okay.
Nobody, y'all don't even listen to, y'all don't know anything I talk about, ever. She doesn't. She definitely doesn't.
I don't have anything to do with Kanye.
I don't either, but I listen to Juicy Scoop.
Don't.
Donna Gail Manson, she was super intelligent, and she would hang out late with like her roommate. So this one night, her roommate would always like cover for her, like if she would miss class. So she was kind of like always like to, skip class and like, hey, roommate, cover for me. I'm not going to go to class today.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be abnormal for her to be gone for a few days at a time. This is kind of why this one. It took a while for them to find her because they weren't alarmed. So she left her room at like 7:00. She was walking on campus. She was going to some concert, and she was never seen again. The only reason we know that she's part of Bundy is because he confessed on her, like right before his execution. He confessed to like a whole bunch of these murders, and that was one of the ones he confessed. And she was one of the ones who was in Taylor Mountain. There's this Taylor Mountain murders where a lot of them were either buried or left or scattered, and she was one of the ones. He never said how he killed her. We can only assume. Not good. Then we have Susan. I'm gonna go through these pretty quick because there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
Susan Rancourt. She was 19 years old. This is April 17th, 1974. She was also in Washington. She was a student. They're all college co-eds. She super smart. She had a 4.0. She worked full time. She paid for her tuition. I mean, this girl's doing the most to get through.
Wow.
She was super scared of the dark. She never went anywhere alone. Except for this one time.
Oh, no.
I know. So this is, there was a job opening for a position at the, to be part of like the advisors. And so she went to another dorm to, I guess, interview for this meeting to get this job as an advisor. And as she's leaving, that's the last time she was seen. She's brutally attacked. She had a skull fracture. She was later found on Taylor Mountain.
Wow.
And then we have Roberta Parks. She's 20 years old, and this was March 3rd. So we go March 3rd? Sure, March 3rd. Oregon State University. She left her dorm to go meet with her friends for coffee. Never arrived. Never made it to coffee. Her skull found Taylor Mountain.
So he's
Only skulls, right?
For some of them.
Yeah. Okay.
and he's just hanging out outside of these colleges, just waiting for one.
Yeah, I guess he's just like trolling around.
And do we know if he's still using the same ruse? Like, is he still saying,
It changes.
I'm broken, got a broken arm, broken leg, or
yeah,
help me with these
he changes it
groceries?
to like later he's going to be a police officer.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now we still don't know how he's like catching these. He's just good looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we have Brenda Ball. Is that name? I feel like that name always is familiar. She's 22, Washington. This is the night of May 31st and the morning of June 1st. So it's like at 1 a.m. She's leaving a tavern and she was looking for a ride because, you know, back in the day, you just look for rides. And she was last seen talking to a man with his arm in a sling. Let's see. Her friends didn't think much of her for being gone for long periods of time. And so they were just like, oh, a few days go by, and then they're like, oh, she's missing. All these people are labeled as disappeared or missing.
Okay.
So the only reason we know about these is because of him admitting or telling them. She was another one that was found on Taylor Mountain. So, it's dripping blood. So that's all we know about that one. Most of these bodies, like I said, he also admitted that he would go back and visit them. This is what you talked about last time.
Yeah.
He would redress them, put makeup on them, do their hair, and have sex with them. This was the first time that the officers heard about him having like necrophiliac tendencies. Was whenever he, before he was going to be executed. They didn't know about that.
Because the bodies were way too decomposed to even have any DNA, which there probably wouldn't even those type of DNA analysis back then. So he just volunteered himself as a damn necrophiliac.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that, Ted.
And he would have, it's going to get graphic. He would have sex with them until their bodies were so decomposed or it was to where you could not have sex with them.
Yes.
So I don't know if they were like.
Did he rape?
He raped some, and some of them he did after. Because some people are like he's a rapist, and some people are like he's not a rapist. But I think he mainly enjoyed having sex with them after death or while they were dying. Because there was one that they said he explained in detail how he was like strangling her, and he in her whenever he was feeling the life go out of her. It was real bad and graphic, but that's what if I had to hear it, then you have to hear it.
Oh, it's an explicit podcast.
100%.
They know what they signed up for.
The next one is a big one. This is the one that last episode we played the whisper tape where he's like, George Ann Hawkins, did you hear that? Did you hear that? This is the one where he talked about this one a lot. This is the only one he like really described, like how he, like where he went and drew a map to where she was buried and all these things. So June 10th, 1974, She's a student at University of Washington. She was leaving her boyfriend's dorm. She's cramming for this Spanish exam. She's walking back to her dorm. It's a alleyway. It's very lit. Literally, she's 40 feet away from her dorm room. There's like sorority houses and stuff.
Yeah.
They said multiple times, she's 40 feet away. She was 40 feet away. When a man approached her on crutches, and he dropped his briefcase. And this was the ruse. He asked her if she would, help him carry his briefcase to his car because he was on crutches and he couldn't pick it up. Poor guy. So she agreed to help him. She was very trusting, and she bent over. It was like down an alleyway. They go down this alleyway and they go into an adjacent parking lot. Apparently the parking lot was not a lit parking lot. And as she's like opening or putting in the briefcase, that's when he like hits her over the head. So once he does that, he hits her over the head. She is knocked out. He handcuffs her, puts her in the car, starts driving, and at that point she like starts to come to, but she's still a little loopy. I mean, she just got knocked out. And then she starts talking about, she was asking him if he was a tutor for her Spanish exam.
When she woke up?
Because she was just studying for a Spanish exam. She was real nervous. She was at her boyfriend's house. She was studying for a Spanish exam. So she's knocked out. Now she's blurry coming to, and she's like, are you my tutor for my Spanish? Like, she just didn't know where she was. And his response is, I found it kind of odd that she would say that. It was just an odd thing to say.
Does this sound familiar, his ruse that he used? If y'all think about a movie, one of my favorite movies.
What?
With Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, no, that's how Silence of the Lamb was based on this, on Ted Bundy stuff.
Him and Ed Gein, I think it was like a mix.
I must have watched it a long time ago because I was like, I don't remember. Did somebody pretend to be hurt and they hit somebody over the head and they?
Yes, they had a guy, but I think he was in a van and he was like, had crutches or a sling, and I think it showed him like putting groceries in, and when this girl walked out, right then he drops his groceries and was like, oh, so she comes over to help him put his, it wasn't groceries, he's moving something into the van, but she gets into, so he was like, oh, if you just get in and pull it, I can push it. So she gets in and he closes the door. So it's that ruse of being like supposed handicap and needing the help, but then they mix it in with Ed Gein because Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs, he would get big girls so that he can have their skin, and he was making him a body.
They talked in multiple shows and stuff. They did talk about how Silence of the Lambs.
I need you to renew your Silence of the Lamb memory and watch it.
I think I watched it because I liked lambs when I was little. Oh, bitch. And it had nothing to do with a lamb.
Nothing. It's the best movie ever made.
Does it
is
mean
a good movie.
Silence of like you're a lamb of God, like you're a lamb?
Watch it. Watch it.
I've watched it, but it was
watch it again when you're grown up so you'll understand.
That's very true. So as he's at the car with Georgianne, he grabs a crowbar. This is where his crowbar is like hidden under like the wheel well or something. He grabs it as she's like, her head's in the car. That's when he hits her over the head. And she's, like I said, delirious, asking about her Spanish test, and they drove off to this location. And once they were there, he strangled her, killed her. He claimed to have severed her head when returning to the site 3 days later. So he killed her, left her there, then came back because he always would revisit the bodies. And then he severed her head and then left her on the rocky hillside.
His kill spot was the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He would take them there, kill them there, and then go back and visit them there.
And then this is what's really creepy is he claimed he went back to the parking lot. So when that very next day, he rode his bicycle. The very next day, the police were in the alleyway, but where his car was parked, where he actually got her and took her from, was in that parking lot. So the alleyway is where the cops were. She was abducted from the parking lot. Well, her earring and like a shoe was left in the parking lot. And he was looking for her stuff whenever he had her in the woods, and like I guess he noticed that.
Well, did she did that on purpose?
Well, probably not, because I don't
Beat
know.
her?
I don't know. So basically, he went to the parking lot, recovered her earrings and her shoe that had fallen off, and the police had no idea. They were just a block away. They never noticed it, and he wanted to make sure that they knew that he did that.
He likes to toot his own horn, doesn't he?
He does. This brings us to Lake Sammamish. Got a territory check for Lake Sammamish.
Oh, yeah.
So this is also a big one. This is July 14th, 1974, Lake Sammamish State Park. Okay, so this is a huge lake. This is 8 miles east of Seattle. There's like beachy areas around it. People are everywhere. On this day specifically, it's beautiful. They said there's like 40,000 people. It's packed. There's companies there with their doing like work picnics. There's people there with their families. I mean, there's people everywhere. There's no hiding. So this one first girl named Mary, she's 22. She's just hanging out on the beach, people everywhere. 11:30. She's approached by a young man wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and asked if she could help him for a minute. And she's like, okay, sure. She noticed he was in a sling. So she was like, okay, yeah, a sling. So she's like, what do you need? And he's like, oh, I just need help loading my sailboat into my car. And she's like,
that pisses me off.
Does my shirt say like boat lady?
Help? Does my shirt say
is it like, I want to help you? And also, if a guy is ever asking
a girl
you for help
or a kid, a grown-up don't need kids' help.
Yeah. So just know, because I would fall for it for sure. I'd be like,
so she's really reminding herself.
I'm basically telling myself, don't ever help a grown-looking man. I don't care if he has a cast. I probably still would. It's bad. So she agreed to help him. Why? Because he's good looking. So she walks up to his bug, his little brown bug in the parking lot, and she's like, I have no sailboat. What kind of boat am I going to help you with? Because there's no boat here. So he's like, oh, yeah, it's at my parents' house. It's just up the road in Issaquah. And she's like, well, and he like pointed to the passenger door like, oh, go ahead, get in. And she was like, well, actually, she like got this feeling.
Yes.
And she answered
Listen
the feeling.
to the gut.
She went with the feeling. And she was like, actually, I can't help you. My parents are here and they've been waiting for me and I'm already late to go meet up with them. So I'm sorry, but I can't help you. And he was super polite. He was like, yeah, that's no problem. You know, I should have told you that the boat wasn't in the parking lot in the first place.
My bad.
Like, I'm blah, blah, blah. And he's like, my mistake. And then, you know, he's just boiling because now he didn't get her. So then hours later, she notices this same guy is like talking to random girls and is like, she just kind of notices and she's like, no big deal. She just like noticed him walking towards the parking lot with pretty other girls and she didn't think anything of it until she read the paper the next day.
Oh, shit.
Janice Ott.
And he would tell them his real name. Hi, I'm Ted.
Here we go.
Okay.
23, Janice Ott, 5 foot, 100 pounds. She's nothing. Tiny little thing.
And she was going to help him with the sailboat.
He came up to her, same thing, except this one had blonde hair.
Yes.
But
the only one.
The only one.
Yeah.
But we think that it's because he was like mad
Desperate.
because he didn't get the first one that he wanted. So he's just going for whatever. Same thing. Goes up to her, asking to help put the sailboat up. But here's the only thing. Whenever this is his first mistake, what you just said, is he goes up to her and he's like, hi, I'm Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's people all around. So, of course, they hear that he said that. And she's like, oh, hi, I'm Jan. And so later this will come into play because the witnesses and everything. And so once he told her that, oh, I just need help loading the boat in the car, and he's like, he told her it's actually at my parents' house in Issaquah, and she's like, oh, well, I live in Issaquah.
Of course she does.
Come on, Jan.
I know. So, I mean, I would be like the same. I would be like, oh my gosh, I live there too.
You live at Bolo Park?
Oh my God, me too. Are we neighbors? Damn, girl, boy, whatever you are. So, the only thing that was holding Janice back is that she had her bike with her, and she was like, I don't want to leave my bike on the beach because I don't want somebody to take my bike. And he's like, oh, that's fine. I have room for it in my trunk. Since when can a bicycle fit in the VW?
But it didn't have backs. Okay.
Well, it didn't. But also, can you even fit a bike into a bug?
I don't know.
Not those bikes from 1974.
Yeah, with them big ass handles.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. So yeah, Ted's like, no worries, there's room. And then once she arrives to the car, I'm pretty sure she was punched in the face before she even knew that the bug was too small to fit her bicycle. So this is when we know that the passenger seat of his car is missing. So what he does is he keeps the seat. He just removes it at times and puts it in the back seat, or is there a trunk? I don't know. But it was gone. It was not there. We're not exactly sure what happened to her in the woods, but he took her to the woods. Y'all, he tied her up. Mm-hmm. He left her there. She's still alive. Okay. And I'll tell you, I'll come back to it in a second. Later, he would come back, kill her, and then decapitate her. And her bones were found in this area, and some of her clothes also. But while he left her there, he went back to Lake Sammamish, approached 19-year-old Denise Nasland. Same thing. She's on the beach. She's having a picnic. She's with her boyfriend, her dog, and another couple. You better not hurt the dog. This is 4 hours later.
Hurt the girl, not the dog.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying. 4 hours later, she left the group with her dog to go to the bathroom. And she was last seen wearing cutoff shorts and a blue halter top. And her dog found its way back to the friends as everybody's searching for her, because then they don't see her. She never came back from the bathroom. No witnesses seeing her leave the lake. So after both of these disappearances, several people came forward. And this is when they're saying that they saw this man approaching women, saying his name was Ted.
Ooh.
And that he had his arm in a sling. So months later, Janice Ott's jawbone is found, Denise Nasland's skull is found, and her jawbone and femur, and they were among several other unidentified skeletal remains. And it turns out that what he did was he kept Janice tied up in the forest
to watch
while he got Denise and brought her back so that one of them could watch him kill the other one, and then he just terrorized them together.
I wonder if it had something to do with her being blonde and maybe not being a good enough kill. So he had to have like a backup plan too. Like,
that's so true.
He wasn't going to get his satisfaction out of the blonde because she doesn't fit the profile and the whole whatever.
So
you go find a brunette one. What? I told you I was in the FBI. How do you doubt me?
I never did. I never doubt. Don't ever doubt April. So at this point, we have King County Police. They're gathering all this information. There's witnesses. It's being broadcast all over. They have this amazing sketch. Do you know about the sketch? I feel like it doesn't look anything like him, but I don't think any sketches look anything like people. I don't either. So they have the sketch, which it doesn't really help because he changes his look so many times. Like, he grows his hair. Like, at one point he looks like a werewolf. Like, he has full beard. Sometimes he has full beard. Sometimes he just has like a handlebar mustache. Sometimes he has long hair. Sometimes he has short hair, clean cut.
Before he was caught, he was doing this? Or after he was caught and like escaping?
All throughout.
Oh, okay.
Throughout. Yeah. So the whole thing is, there's a sketch, but it doesn't really help because he can grow his hair out or cut it or whatever, and it can look totally different. So they get tons of tips, tons and tons, 200 tips a day. People are like, oh, that's my boyfriend. Oh, that's my boyfriend. They're all trying to turn in their boyfriend, throw him under the damn bus. So then there's 3 tips that are the main tips. One from his psychology professor who was like, I have this weirdo in my class named Ted Bundy.
That would be me. That would be me.
And then another tip was from Ann Rule. Girl, she is the most. She's the VIP.
She's my dream.
She's the MVP. And we know who Ann Rule is. And then the other tip was from Liz, girlfriend Liz. I'm going to go into some detail about some
Girlfriend
Liz.
with the daughter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the detectives, I might have said this last episode, but they were just like, we don't think that's the guy because he's just too clean cut and he doesn't have a criminal record.
Yeah.
So they don't even think about it.
Was he white Protestant male?
What is Protestant? Is that just a preacher?
He was a white Republican male. No, Protestant means you're like a Christian. Like you're a mainstream like religion and not like something like Buddhist or something that's Jew or something that's not as mainstream.
So Protestant covers
Christianity, like Baptist. I think it's mostly if you believe in Jesus.
But a lot of them.
But I don't know if Catholic's in that category.
Okay. Because I was like, a lot of them, do they even have? Well, a lot of them are raised like real religious.
Yeah.
I don't think Ted was religious.
No. I was just bringing it back to that previous episode, but probably because he's white, Republican, smart, clean cut, good looking. He doesn't fit.
Well, because
fit what they would think.
Because he knew what was going on. He knew about law. He knew about psychology.
Yeah,
he could
smart.
talk his way out of things. I think even just being a freaking smooth talker is the worst. I wish I was a smooth talker. Okay, we're going to Utah. Buckle up. 1974, August. We're in August. Ted received his second acceptance to the University of Utah Law School. I'm so lost with all these law schools. So he's moving to Salt Lake City. He is leaving Liz in Seattle. He did not ask Liz to go with him. She really wanted him to ask her. I know. So, she kind of already had like a little bit of suspicions, but she was still like
thirsty.
Yeah. She's like, surely, no, it's whatever. So this is around the same time that, wait, Ted just moved to Utah and all of these other women started disappearing in Utah?
Oh.
That's real strange. It's October 2nd. He's been there for August, September, October, about 2 months.
Didn't waste no time.
16-year-old Nancy Wilcox disappeared near Salt Lake City. Her remains were buried in a park, but were never found. That's literally all I have about her. October 18th, Melissa Smith, 17-year-old. She was the daughter of a police chief in Midville, Salt Lake City. It's just a suburb of Salt Lake City. She disappeared leaving a pizza parlor. Her nude body was found about 9 days later. October 31st, Laura Amy, 17, leaving a cafe at midnight. Her naked body was found by hikers on Thanksgiving Day. So that's on Halloween. Man. The weird thing, okay, Melissa and Laura, which are the last two that I just mentioned, they had both been beaten, raped, sodomized, and strangled with nylon stockings. And years later, which is when he would do his confession, he said that his post-mortem ritual with these corpses included shampooing their hair and putting makeup on them.
What? I remember makeup. I don't remember shampooing.
Maybe somebody added
But
this.
like where? Like how do he just takes them to the woods and washes their hair?
Do you bring
like in a bucket?
Water?
Your brain moves like mine does. So I'm like, what do you mean shampoo? Where did he get the water? Did he just pour the shampoo on there and lather it up and it's just like sudsy?
And it's just wet, like he didn't blow dry
I don't
it?
know. He
Like-
didn't blow dry it. He
I was
left it.
pissed too.
But but he did he wanted them to look great. He would make up full makeup.
Why are you gonna make them look great whenever in 5 minutes or 5 days their skin's gonna be eaten off?
Did he dress them up before he had sex with them? That was his date. He dated them. That's how he
dead
dated
people.
them.
He dated dead people.
I don't remember the.
Tell the
shit
camera. He dated
dated
the dead people. What a dick. What a duck.
I mean, they were probably, they had fresh hair and probably at least makeup on before he killed them. If you hadn't.
They probably didn't have lip gloss, and
That's what it was. Yeah.
April wanted to put lip gloss on him. Listen, this is where we get into Carol DeRanch.
Ooh, I remember that name.
November 8th, 1974, Bundy approached Carol DeRanch. She's at the mall. We're in Utah. This is he is about less than a mile from where he was last seen with his previous victim. So he's still pretty close, same vicinity. He sees this girl, he writes down her license plate number, and he waited for her to leave the store she was at. So he comes back, she leaves the store, he approaches her, he pretends to be a cop. This is his next ruse. He's Officer Roseland.
In no uniform.
He was undercover.
Undercover?
Of course.
So listen, he told her, he's like, someone broke into your car, and I need you to come and fill out this police report because they broke into your car, and so I want you to, he broke in, he left, and she's like, oh my gosh, what? Somebody broke into my car? And he's like, I'm officer, whatever. So she asked him for his ID.
Oh, good job.
Good girl.
Yeah.
By the way, I was looking at all these pictures of these people, and Carol DeRanch, she has some really good hair.
Don't they all?
I will show you her hair.
Hey, would Ted Bundy kill April? Look at her.
It's probably you would actually be dead.
She gone.
Yeah.
She
You-
gone.
Oh, I need the part though.
You fit the profile.
Yeah, put it down the middle. Put it down the middle. I just want you to see Carol with the good hair.
Oh,
I mean, it's
Carol
good
with the
hair.
Good hair.
Carol with the good hair.
Yes.
Carol with the good hair.
Yeah, she's got good hair.
Oh.
So no, don't all. Oh, girl, she's still here.
And I think I
Asked
know
for the
what's going to
ID.
happen with
She
her.
asked for the ID, which of course he busts out a police badge because I'm sure you can get it at the damn flea market or whatever. I don't know where he got it. And shows her, and she was hesitant. She didn't want to go. She was like, She noticed he was driving this bug. She went anyway because of course people are like confused. I would be confused. She gets into the Bundy bug. I'm gonna call it the Bundy bug. She gets in the Bundy bug, and then they're driving, and she points out that she's like, you're on the wrong road. This isn't the way to the police station. And that's when he swerves over, goes off the road, and just puts a handcuff on her. Handcuffs one of her hands. She immediately gets out of the car. She pulls the door open. I guess he didn't take the door handle off because some people
I think he does later.
Yeah.
Don't he?
Yeah. So she's able to get out of the door. Apparently instead of putting the handcuffs on he put both of them on one hand. So that's where he messed up again. And so she gets out and she's running. Actually they fought each other. After she got out of the car, she noticed he had this crowbar, which he's Mr. Crowbar. And she fights him off. Runs down the street. There's another car coming, and she waves the car down, jumps in their car, and is take me to the police station, and goes to the police station.
Nice.
She gets away. She's still
Go, Carol.
Go, Carol, with the good hair. I literally noticed that. I was like, oh my gosh. So, this is where it's no more celebration. Celebration. I'm making up new words.
It's a new word.
So he's real mad because Carol got away. What's he going to do now? Go 19 miles away, and within the hour, he's going to go to Viewmont High School, where there's a play that's letting out.
Yes.
And this is whenever 17-year-old Deborah Kent leaves the play early. She's leaving to go pick up her brother. And April, both Aprils, she never made it to her car. Because several people were like talking about that they saw this stranger like lurking around. Even like one of the instructors was like, he had come up to her and asked if she would help him fix something on the car or something. And she said no. And he just kind of kept lurking around. And eventually, old Deborah Kent went out to the parking lot and never seen again. And it was the same old police ruse, the same old thing. And what the police did find was he left a key in the parking lot, which unlocked the handcuffs that were on Carol's handcuffs that were on her arm when she got away.
So now they knew these are connected.
They linked them together.
After 40 people die.
So now
Yes.
they do
So-
believe, oh, it is this
Well,
white guy.
they at least have a link to whoever the person was that went after Carol was the same person who went after Deborah.
Oh, yeah, because it was in the same night. Okay.
Yeah. So when was that? That was November 8th, 74.
Damn, we're still in 74?
He literally,
How long is his reign?
like, one more year.
Okay.
So now we're in 75. And he travels to Colorado.
Yeah, he's making his way across
Yeah.
the United States.
So that was in November. And then now
He
we're
must have smoked weed. These are all
He got drunk a lot.
legalized weed states.
Oh.
Are they? I know Colorado is.
Is
They
it
are now.
Washington? Probably
don't
not
have a damn
Washington.
clue.
I don't know. I just made it up.
I will agree. Yeah, you're right. So now
just said
he's like
Colorado.
shifted. He's like, I'm so tired of Utah. I'm going to Colorado. And he goes. And 2 months after Deborah Kent disappeared, it's January 12th, 23-year-old registered nurse, Karen Campbell. She was vacationing. She was at a hotel in Snowmass, California with her husband or fiance and 2 kids. And she was just leaving the lobby, going to the elevator, and all of a sudden they never see her again.
What?
Never see her again.
So he convinced her to get off an elevator and go out to his bug.
Apparently. Because you know what? Her nude body was found a month later on a snowbank in Aspen.
This bug, man, was like
I'm-
pimp ride.
They must have been all about this bug. I ain't never.
They were all
I
about
couldn't
Ted.
even fit in a bug. Good thing I'm too big. Good
They
thing
were
I'm
all
too
about
big.
Ted.
She was
Don't
killed
trust
by
anybody.
blows to the head, blunt force trauma, and it was likely that she had been raped. March 15th.
Before and after.
I know. I just got to keep going because there's just so many. March 15th, Vail, Colorado, ski instructor Julie Cunningham disappeared while walking to her apartment. She was going to meet a friend for dinner. Never made it. Her body was found. And that was part of the ones that he confessed to.
Okay.
He said he had approached her on crutches, helped to get him to help carry something to the car, you know, all the same things and the same things and the same things.
I didn't remember. I'm glad you're saying that he finally did confess because I couldn't, it's been so long.
He wasn't very, he still didn't confess to all of it.
Fully. He's not like a Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Kemper
No.
confession.
He didn't want to die.
Still used third person.
He didn't want to die.
So he was trying to save his own life.
He used third person earlier, and then later, like the day or 2 days, 1 or 2 days before is when he like really gay. Because I know like he didn't want to give the names for some reason, and
But remember, he wanted them to be his, so he
Yeah.
didn't want to share.
yeah, but he wanted so bad to not die, so he was trying to kind of be like, well, I'm gonna need 3 to 6 months to really tell you all of the details.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
I'm sure there's still a lot that he didn't actually confess to. So you know what? It's March. You know, this is where we have literally month after month after month murders.
Wow.
So, like, January 12th was Karen Campbell. March 15th, Julie Cunningham. Now we're on April 6th. It's Denise Oliverson. She's 25. She disappeared. It was like the border of Utah and Colorado in Grand Junction. She's riding her bicycle to her parents' house, and literally her sandals were just found near a railroad bridge.
Wow.
Like, he just happens to be at the right place at the right time, watching people be by themselves. I people watch, but I don't know.
They're predators.
This is what I don't know. Okay, so he claimed to have thrown her body in the Colorado River. Her body was never found. How does he know the names of these people? Oh, he stole their IDs.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was his.
Because I was like, how do you even know who these people are? You just see them and you get them and you take, like.
It was his trophy.
But they're, I don't know if I go all into it, but they do later find like tons of IDs, so that must be why.
So where's
I'm about to get there.
Okay.
Literally, I got two more, and then
my next question is: remember, he was living with the old woman.
No.
Is this okay? He was living like in an old lady's house during a lot of this.
Is this? Are you talking about Kai Mega? Whenever he lived at the boarding home? Because we ain't there yet.
Okay. No, I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember an old lady.
Okay.
May 6th, he, really? 12-year-old? There's so many. I already forgot about these people. Lynette Culver. This isn't even he lured her from her junior high school and apparently, there's like no details on this, drowned her and then sexually assaulted her before disposing of her body in Snake River. Her body was never found. These must be ones he just like admitted to. June 28th, Susan Curtis, 15. She was on the campus, the BYU
let's
campus.
Let's not skim over the age range.
No,
like this 12-year-olds. I forgot. I remember a little bit.
No, his very last one is the one that people talk about and that we remember. These are all skimmed over everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't even go over them. It'll just like label them. Like it'll just say their name, their age,
and then
like disappeared.
Because there's so many.
Because some of them he might have just listed the day before. He might have just like said, "Oh, by the way, I killed this person and this person," without giving any details. So we might not even know details.
Oh, yeah, because he wasn't very forthcoming with.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I'm not trying to skim, but I'm just like, this is just what I.
Well, I was pointing out like the age, like that's if your target is college co-eds because you're still pissed off at Stephanie, this is way out of your element with this 12-year-old
and then a 15-year-old. Like what's the point of that?
But they still fit the visual profile, I guess. Brown hair.
Yeah, but like I know, I thought the same. I was like, why?
He's all over the place.
He is all over the place.
He becomes disorganized almost.
Oh, whenever he's Chi Omega, he goes shit.
He pulls a Caroline.
He goes total disorganized.
Total disorganized.
He should have taken his meds. He would have got away with it.
He did not take his medication, clearly. So in conclusion, from Utah and Colorado, there were Wilcox, Kent, Cunningham, Oliverson, Culver, and Curtis. So there were 6 bodies that were never recovered.
Oh, wow.
So let's talk about Liz.
Yes. What's this bitch doing?
Okay. So at this point, Liz and Ted are still together. They're back and forth. She is like suspecting him, like that he's no good. But, it's like, you get that feeling where, we all get that feeling, maybe, where you're just like, something just is not right, but you still like stay because you're like really not really sure.
You want to be 117% sure.
So she starts snooping around and, she starts questioning things. Like people do when they're in these situations. She's gone through his stuff. Once again, people do that, right? Like you're just, And, she may have found a meat cleaver and was like, asked him, why did he have a meat cleaver? I had to look up what a meat cleaver
Well,
was.
I know.
It's like
What is
it's
it?
like a butcher knife.
Yeah. It's like the
Oh.
big fat blade.
Yeah. I thought it was one of those. Never. I don't know.
Like that looks like a big
A
hammer.
square. Yeah.
Yeah.
Square thing.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it was basically a butcher knife, and she's snooping, and she's like, "How did I find this?" And he's like, of course, using his charm, and he's just like, tries to like pivot and redirect and circle back and do all these things
that he learned in his psychology class.
good old gaslighting skills here.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, everything's fine, it's nothing to worry about. Meat cleaver, who's she? I mean, I don't know. Come on, like, I've never heard of her. It's what are you talking about? And she knew that something was not right. I mean, how much would it suck to think that you were married to a murderer? I mean, I know you might like it. You might
I go
be
back and
intrigued.
forth every day.
But like, so she just was really like hesitant to, really, she just really didn't know. I mean, I really don't think she knew, like knew. I think she might have like, I mean, she's, what I'm
She
saying?
gives everybody the benefit of the doubt.
She couldn't have really known he was murdering people.
She knew, but she loved this man.
She was thirsty. Bitch was thirsty because there's not you. It's hard to be single, anyways. A single mom, anyways.
But you know, when this
especially
news-
back then, she knew. Okay, this is the only guy that's gonna like me and like my kids. So if he chops people's heads off, let me just go and lay down. If he makes me dinner the next day.
The meat cleaver.
With the meat cleaver.
He's used on somebody
And
the night
accidentally
before.
cuts his finger, so then he has to go to the hospital and to
Oh.
get medicine.
Oh, did we
to
just
get-
mix up?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Dirty
That
Chad
was
and
Dirty
Ted?
Chad
Okay.
who fake cut his finger. I mean, he didn't kill
Just to
anybody.
avoid a situation.
No, I think he just wanted to get like
Oh,
pain
drugs.
meds.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was chopping stuff up and he like cut his finger and like went to the emergency room. I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. It's a finger.
Do I need to clarify the story? It's not about me. It's about these people.
But you were married to him.
That's true. But I still just don't think she really knew he was a murderer.
Maybe
But
not that
at the
far.
same time, she did find plaster. What's it called? Plaster of Paris?
Mm-hmm.
I had to look that up too.
What is that?
I know. I'm
Plaster.
so
To
glad.
cast? For a cast?
Yes.
Did she find crutches?
Yes. I'll come to that in a
And
second.
a sling.
And he ain't never broke his leg.
And jeans and a white t-shirt.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously she loved him. She cared about him. He's the killer. And, she, of course, I still don't think,
It's good to her daughter.
yeah. So then, when you love somebody and you find out all these horrible things he's responsible for, like, you're like, man, that's a lot of betrayal. You don't really want to face it. And then it kind of hits you in the face whenever it comes out and you're like, oh, shit.
I was right.
Are we still talking? Are we still
yes.
Are we
yeah.
still talking
No.
about Liz?
Is
talking
this,
about-
is this Finding Dirty Chad? Or is this Ted Bundy?
It's a little mixture. So guess what? They continue. I'm making up so many. They stayed together. Yay. She was so dedicated.
Brave.
She was
So
dedicated.
brave and
But
such-
guess what? This is around the same time that Ted gets arrested for the first time. You ready for it?
how?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
August 16th, 1975. You ready for all these dates?
No, I can't remember.
So
how.
we were just in June.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when he had his last murder in June. Now it's August 1975. He was stopped for a driving violation because he was like, the officer noticed him because it was a small town. It wasn't a typical car that was in town. He was like, his lights were off, headlights
Yeah.
were off, and he was like speeding through, running stop signs, and then he started to like really run stop signs, and then the officer pulled him over, and he finally got him to stop, and then he got him out, and he searched the car. That's when he noticed that did we take a break? Oh, we didn't insert a break. That's when he noticed that the passenger seat was in the back seat. And at that point, he searched the car and he found Ted's little murder kit.
Thank you.
Murder kit consisted of handcuffs, ice pick, crowbar, ski mask, trash bags, rope, pantyhose with eyes cut in them, along with other questionable items.
When did he put the pantyhose on?
Lots of times. And he would strangle people with the pantyhose.
With the
nylon pantyhose. It's coming
He
up.
did it differently. Or did he always strangle them?
Well, some he would bludgeon to death, and
yeah.
some he would strangle them.
All over the place.
Stop throwing away leftovers and buy Hampton Homeware's 40-piece food storage container set with airtight snap-on lids. It's 28% off on Amazon. It includes 24 labels and an erasable marker. And coming in late April, you can also shop the kitchen cooking utensil set. You'll get 33 silicone pieces that won't scratch or damage your expensive nonstick cookware. Start shopping today at the Hampton Homeware Amazon storefront.
Look up my leech girl real quick. You got to see her face.
Keep going.
Okay. So he gets arrested on suspicion of burglary. He explained away all the stuff in the car. He's like, ski mask was for skiing, and the handcuffs, I got those out of a dumpster, and blah, blah, blah. Stupid stuff. Police then compared his car to the one that Carol Durant described whenever she was kidnapped and put it together. So they also placed that those handcuffs were the same type of handcuffs, and Liz had tried probably 3 or 4 times to turn him into the police.
Okay.
But they never listened to her.
Yeah. They thought she was an angry girlfriend.
And so maybe that's why she stayed with him. She's like, well, if the police don't think it's him, then why should I?
Yeah. Made her feel better when they didn't do anything.
Yeah. So then at this point, Ted's arrested. They finally contact Liz, and they're like, he's arrested. And that's whenever she talks about how she found these things in his apartment, and she found this meat cleaver, and she found this plaster of Paris, and that's what he used to make the cast with. And they found crutches, and that's whenever all of that came out. Then police end up searching his apartment, and that's when they find a guide to Colorado ski resorts, which had a mark for the hotel that one of them who was it? Carol Campbell was killed at. It was like a brochure. Like, why would you have all these whatever
souvenirs?
Yeah. And then they also found a advertisement pamphlet for the Viewmont High School play, because it was a school play that Deborah Kent was abducted from, and so they found those things all in his apartment.
So that was what he was keeping for those?
Yeah.
Did he actually watch the play?
Oh my gosh. That is exactly what somebody else said. When did somebody say that?
I think on Morbid.
Oh
maybe
my
that's why I'm
gosh,
thinking about that. Yeah. But why would you have that?
I feel like he did, because when I was watching,
and he picked out who he wanted to get.
I was watching the Prime, whatever it's called, I don't know what the show's called, but it was with mainly Liz telling her whole story, and it was like the director from the play, and she was talking about how he was like sitting in there, and she thought he was just like a normal person watching. I think he was watching the play.
Made that up. She wanted to be on the show.
Oh, she was thirsty?
She just wanted some. I mean, I would have probably said something to be on the show too.
That's true.
But I feel like, okay, he probably either. Why would you keep that pamphlet? Either one, she didn't have a driver's license, so that's your
True.
keepsake or your whatever you call. I don't know.
Yeah,
Trophy?
like was he finding those things? Okay, like the brochure and the pamphlet. Like, did he have those first and then be like, oh, the ski resort? I think I'll go check out the ski resort, and hangs out, or like the play pamphlet.
Yeah, there was like a X marks the spot on wherever that certain resort was, and so that's why they like linked. But it still wasn't enough evidence to keep him.
Circumcised?
No. So, guess what? Also he had like a stack of Polaroids that were in some like lockbox, and so he was arrested. He got out because there wasn't enough evidence to keep him. He went home, got all those Polaroids, threw them away, burned them, whatever, got rid of them, but then later told all the police that he had them, just to once again rub it in their face, kind of thing.
Yeah. Control.
So at this point, it's November 1975 or 6 or 5. It's 1975. And we have Jerry Thompson, Robert Keppel, and Michael Foster. These are all detectives. They're from Utah, Washington, Colorado. They meet in Aspen and they leave finally convinced. They've put it all together. Bundy's the guy.
Oh.
Bundy's the guy. We're going to get him. February 1976. Okay. He is going on trial for the kidnapping of Carol Durant. She's the one that escaped. Got it?
The only person that can live to talk about it.
Yes. So he was found guilty of kidnapping, and he was sentenced to 1 to 15 years to prison.
Which
Utah State
means
prison.
1.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? He's in prison for about 8 months, and then police finally find something to connect him to one of the murders. They find credit card statements, and they connect him to the Karen Campbell murder in Colorado. So they transfer him to Colorado
Okay.
for a pretrial hearing. So he's in Utah. He's in jail for that kidnapping. Transferred to Colorado. Great. He's there. At this point, it's June 1977. And this is whenever he decides, because this is a hearing, he's going to be his own attorney. Here we go.
Oh, this is where his amazingness
Here we
comes
go.
out.
He is allowed to be in court without shackles, which gives him the opportunity to move around freely. And during a recess, he convinces the guards that he needs to go to the library because lawyers and attorneys, he has to go research his case. So he goes up there, and you know what? He just sneaks behind the bookcase, and he's out of sight for about 60 seconds. And guess what? Jumps out the second window and bounces out of there. I'm surprised he didn't break anything.
Me neither.
Which he
somebody's
didn't.
done that at the McLennan County Courthouse.
Well,
They
No.
have.
was the window open?
They used to. I don't think they do it anymore. I remember when I had jury duty, they told us that story.
Oh my gosh. Well, all he did was hurt his ankle, and he was out for 6 days. He would go and like break in cabins in the
And
woods.
it was cold.
Yeah.
It was in the snow. It was cold.
Well, that's what he would go, break in these cabins and like steal food, steal clothes. And then he ended up stealing a car, and that's whenever he got stopped, and that eventually led to his recapture.
Can you imagine having a cabin and then coming back and seeing that it's been ransacked, and then later finding out Ted Bundy
I bet you
ransacked your cabin?
Literally,
I would leave it in the way that he left it forever.
Don't doubt it.
Then I would Airbnb it out. And it would go for a lot of money.
Oh my gosh, it would. It so would. So he's recaptured, and now that was June 77. Now we're in December 77. So it's 7 months later. He's back in jail. He's in Colorado.
Do you remember how they caught him
Yeah.
in a car? How?
Because he was speeding. He was like,
No, after when he escaped, how did they get him again?
because he stole a car.
Okay, and
Yeah.
he was speeding.
'Cause
Okay.
he stole a car and he was driving erratically,
Okay.
according to my sources. So 7 months later, and he's like, I gotta get a new escape plan. Let me assemble one.
Oh.
Let me assemble an escape plan. He somehow gets a detailed floor plan of this jail.
This is when he turns into an organized killer.
He gets a hacksaw blade from another inmate, and he manages to collect $500 in cash to use for while he's on the run and an escapee.
Okay.
Okay? We later find out how he got this $500.
That's what I was fixing to ask.
And this is from Carol Ann Boone.
That's why I was confused. Okay. I always get her and Raunch, and I'm
Okay.
like, no, this bitch didn't go and
Yeah, no,
help
this
him later
bitch
on.
she done helped him escape. Hang on, mouth watering, dry it up, get you a drink. Here we go. She helped him get the cash. So during the evenings, while the other prisoners were showering, Ted Bundy sawed a hole in like a 1 square foot in the ceiling of his cell.
Mm-hmm.
He lost 35 pounds, 35 pounds. So he would be able to wiggle his way through the ceiling, and he would be able to crawl in the space above the ceiling.
And then all the time he's bitching, and didn't he like have a lawsuit about how their food was horrible and the conditions are horrible?
Yes, he
and
was
that's why
always
he's
complaining.
losing weight, because the food was so horrible when really he was doing it on purpose so that
Yeah.
he could fit through.
He was always complaining.
Genius.
So he did dry runs, and he would go up in there, and he would, like, other inmates would hear, and they would be like, somebody's crawling up in the ceiling, and they would totally ignore the other inmates. They're like, y'all are stupid. So on New Year's Eve, he crawls through this hole in the ceiling that he carved out and lost all this weight. He ends up, and he comes out, and he's in the head jailer's room. Goes down in there, goes in the closet, gets some jailer's clothes, puts on the clothes, and this just walked right out the door.
Listen, he
He
needs a
gone.
standing ovation for that.
Go!
He needs a standing ovation for that.
I mean, listen, that was, you know,
sorry
that
about
was-
your bad luck. He
that
outsmarted them all.
I hate that I had to clap, but I mean, that's pretty damn impressive.
It is.
But you're an asshole, but it's impressive. Okay. So this is also crazy. Who was it? The lead guard or whatever. The head jailer. He was gone. He wasn't there. It was New Year's Eve. So, I mean, he's out. Celebration station. So he's like, freedom. They didn't even know he was missing until 17 hours later. Apparently, he covered up books
made a
in
fake
his
body.
bed.
Uh-huh.
But like, wouldn't you be pokey? Wouldn't it be like pointy body?
He's
pokey
way
body?
better than that.
It's like lights are out though, so you're not
you have,
really.
like,
It'd be
Did
like
he
your
have-
elbows. Oh, this is just Caroline's elbows.
You know what? I talked about my elbows yesterday because now that I have to put them on the desk all the time, they're always like bruising up. And then I was like, I got a big weenus.
A weenus?
It's called a weenus.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
no.
Are y'all? Oh,
Chandler talks about a weenus on Friends. It's the only weenus I know about.
no. This is okay. I'm not talking to y'all anymore.
I just thought it was the extra skin that you could pinch really hard and like it doesn't hurt. Weenus.
Pull your weenus. Bend it.
I can't pull this, but I don't have as much weenus as you.
Pull your weenus.
You pull my weenus.
Oh, never thought you'd ask. So much weenus pulling. You do have a big weenus, don't you?
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, she's got it.
Oh yeah, your weenus is not as big as mine though. Sorry. Sorry about your luck.
Is it basically saggy skin?
No, it's the weenus.
Oh,
bro.
were you not circumcised?
It's full
That's
circle.
what that. You were not circumcised.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was trying to get at. I had no idea. Oh my
Go.
gosh. So he escapes. It's 17 hours. He's gone. Guess what? By then, he's in Chicago. From Chicago, he takes a train to Michigan. Then he steals a car, goes to Atlanta, and then he takes a bus to Florida. And
Always got to go to Florida.
In Tallahassee. Woo! He actually wanted to stop killing. He was like legit trying to. He was like, I'm going to get a job.
He's doing his Hail Marys.
I'm going to do my prayers and I'm going to like, but then shit damn hell, all the things. And then he tried to get a job and then they asked for his ID and he went batshit. He went off the rails because he didn't have an ID, even though you can easily get a fake ID, but there was probably social security number issues, like he couldn't, but it just threw him off and he was like, I was trying to be good and now I'm back on my rampage. Yep. He moves into a boarding house near Florida State University campus. He poses as a grad student. He uses the name Chris Hogan.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And he attends lectures and pretends to be a student. And then Chi Omega happens.
Wait, ¿cuántos años tienes at this time?
How old is he?
Yeah.
Well, it's 1978. So when was he born?
I don't remember. Wow. But he literally cannot get out of the college life.
No,
he's probably 90s.
He's 31. He's 31. He's 31.
Well, and I guess and he's supposed to be a grad student.
Yeah, which is
that's normal.
I mean, I could probably literally walk up into college and be a grad student.
Yeah. I mean, any age is grad student. I don't know why I thought he was older trying to pose to be
he's
like
not like
a college student.
57 or wait.
Okay.
Maybe that's what I should do. I should just like go hang out like at campus and like get all the knowledge. I just don't have a certificate.
Just don't. Yeah. Just learn it.
Yeah.
Just show up in a lecture.
Look,
sit in the back.
We're so close to this. Chi Omega. This is the end cap. This is the ultimate. This is January 15th, 1978.
Wow.
1 week after he's arrived in Tallahassee. He got into the sorority house and he entered through the back door because there was a faulty lock. And apparently he had been watching them. And he was watching them to wait till they went to sleep. It's 2:45 in the morning and then he enters. And he bludgeons Margaret Bowman, 21 years old, with a piece of freaking firewood. He grabbed the firewood from out the house, goes inside with his log of firewood. As she's sleeping, he just totally knocks her in the head and bludgeons her to death. I mean, this whole rampage right here took 15 minutes. What I'm about to tell you. So, Margaret, her skull was caved in. She was strangled. This is the one. She was strangled with a nylon stocking. And he used so much force with it. Like, he pulled it so hard that he almost broke her neck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
always wonder if did he buy it or was it her nylon stocking?
Oh, I'm sure he brought it. I mean, because you'd have to dig for a stocking. Like a pantyhose? That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess people in college aren't really going to have those.
But he also used one for cover his face. So he might have just taken off his face and used it or something. So then right after that, he entered the room of Lisa Levy, 20-year-old, beat her unconscious, strangled her, tore off one of her nipples, bit her butt cheek or buttock, and sexually assaulted her with a hair mist bottle? A hair mist bottle? Like a hairspray?
Yeah, remember White Rain or like Spritz?
White Rain spray?
No, it's like a spritz bottle.
Yeah, Spritz bottle. I'm just thinking of the brand White Rain, like, and it had the little spritz top and a little skinny bottle.
Yeah.
It's the first thing he could grab.
Yeah. Well, I guess his penis wouldn't.
That's why I wonder. He had to have a small penis because he wants to screw them when they're dead.
Y'all, it's real bad. I have to show you. I know.
Finish. Hold on.
Where was I? 20-year-old Lisa Levy. Hair mist bottle. Then in the adjoining bedroom, he attacked 20-year-old Kathy Kleiner, He broke her jaw. He lacerated her shoulder. Her shoulder was dislocated. She was sound asleep when it happened and didn't remember a thing. But guess what? She survived. Then we have 21-year-old Karen Chandler. She was beat. I mean, he mercilessly just beat the crap out of her. She had a concussion, a broken jaw. She lost her teeth. She had a broken finger. And she also survived. So we have 2 survivors out of that coma. Yes.
Okay.
2 of them. Then one of the 2 survivors, said that the reason they survived is because headlights, like maybe a car was turning in, and so the headlights flashed into the room, and it scared him enough to where he left and ran out. So that's what she's like. That's why we survived. And then as he's running out the door, they have another sorority sister who's coming in and sees him. Surely they're not going in and out the same door, but it's Nita Neary, who she's coming in and she sees him leaving. So she's a witness. And then another witness saw him carrying a log down the street. So he's like leaving the sorority house. He goes 8 blocks away. And I mean, he's on a rampage. He's like roid raging. He's going crazy. He's like on this
hungry shit. He ain't eaten in months.
Yeah. He's on this whole nother level. He goes, breaks into this other basement apartment, attacks 21-year-old FSU student Cheryl Thomas. He dislocated her shoulder, fractured her jaw and skull in 5 places.
Wow.
He woke up the neighbors from like the sounds that they were so violent. And it was said that like the thumps of her head smashing against the wall and like it was like banging that they started banging back like what the like they're like they're doing it like calm down, like what is going on? And she survived.
Wow.
From all that. She has permanent deafness in one ear, and she has cranial nerve damage, which causes your equilibrium to be off, so maybe like vertigo. And what sucks is that she was a dancer, so she could never dance again. And also, he masturbated on her bed.
Screw you, Ted Bundy.
So, guess what? He's still on the loose. He's still going. And when was that? That was whatever day, January. And then February 9th, this is the last of Ted Bundy. This is his final one. This is
the little girl.
12-year-old Kimberly Leach. She was just so precious looking. She's in PE class. She remembered that she left her purse in another classroom. So the teacher lets her go get her purse. She's coming back to PE with her purse, and this, all of a sudden somebody's like, I just remember seeing, like witnesses were like, I remember seeing her with this like angry man, and we just thought it was like a dad who was mad and like taking their kid home, and because we don't know why, and so they didn't report it because they just were like, it's whatever, somebody picking up their kid. And once her parents finally realized like, she's not home, and they found out that she didn't go to the rest of her classes that day, they instantly knew like something was wrong, and they reported it to the police. And 2 months later, they find her body in a pig pen.
Oh.
What's a pig pen? About 40 miles away. She'd been sexually assaulted and strangled.
There had to have been not any pigs in the pen because they will eat
Everything.
about anything.
Well, there ain't no pigs in that pen. They turned to bacon already, I guess. I don't know.
So her body was just there, just dead.
Yeah, they
whole.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's finally arrested again. We're almost there. He's arrested. He, of course, acted as his own attorney. This trial is insane.
Wait, I have to back up.
Okay.
April has been to the Chi Omega house. Did we talk about that last week?
Mm-mm.
We did at George's. You don't remember?
I have.
April's been to the Chi Omega house.
What did we say about it?
We stopped, and it's probably been like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago. My son had a tournament in like South Florida. So on our way there, we get to Tallahassee, and we like to visit like colleges too. Like when Jace was like playing baseball, like we would like go to different colleges. And so it's Florida State, and Mike's like, or he's like looking up something. He was like, hey, go this way, turn here, turn here. He was like, oh, this is it, stop. And I was like, what is this? I was like, what are we doing? And so he's like, take a picture of this and send it to April. And I was like,
he went and visited Kyle in the house?
And we just stopped, just right out in front. And nobody was out or anything.
100% counts. They have beat you because you didn't go to.
Well, I didn't have a way to go. I didn't have a car. She's so mad at me.
Yeah. So then I was like kind of reading about it a little bit, where it says that like the sorority girls who, pledge, like they don't talk about it. They don't talk about anything that happened in that house. Yeah. It is not even talked about.
They need to. They don't even know about it.
How is it not part of everyday conversation?
It should be. You got to remember the people.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I wonder. I wonder if
there's like a
pictures.
Yeah. And like the rooms that it happened in. It's crazy.
Why would you still even have that house? Go get a different house.
Like the house looks exactly the same.
Why can't you not tear it down and go build a new one?
Because I think that in the Greek life, that house probably has way more past and history meaning than one night. He's just back in jail.
Yeah, because go ahead and tell your personal story. I was just trying to like skip the little things and get to the
Well, and I can't remember, but I just know it was a random cop that was on duty.
Oh no, there was this big thing, and there was like a fight, and there was gunshots.
Yeah,
is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Pensacola, Florida, is where he ended up being caught. So y'all know what I do when I travel and I look.
Why did you want to go to where he was caught, not to where he?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't.
I was just in Pensacola, and I didn't know about anything that happened in Pensacola. So if I don't know about anything, I'm gonna say famous murders, famous killers, famous something, Pensacola, and all I found out was one, Emmett Smith went to Pensacola High School. So boom, we went there and took a picture of the Emmett Smith Stadium that's named after him. And then two, we went to the restaurant where he was found, had a struggle with the cop, and caught and then put back in prison for the final time.
Oh, I didn't know it was a restaurant. I just know that he was on a officer was chasing him. He evaded the officer, and then they got into a struggle, and the officer shot twice, 2 warning shots. And then he eventually, like Bundy was trying to get the gun from the officer. The officer was able to like capture him. It was this big thing. And then he took him.
It was just a parking. They weren't inside. It was just like a parking lot of a restaurant.
Yeah.
But it was like an alleyway that led to the restaurant, I think. So he was like coming down like a little alleyway. I feel like he was driving a bug. Like that he stolen a bug.
He kept stealing bugs.
Yeah. So
was that the only car back then?
It was
Why was he always driving the damn bug?
That was his thing.
It was his thing.
He had like 14 bugs he drove. Listen.
So I have a picture of me at that restaurant.
Every time, I don't even want to see a bug ever again. Do they even make those anymore? Anyway, we are going. He's arrested, and guess what? He's acting as his own attorney again because why not? So this is what is. I'm breezing through this trial because it's pretty long, and there's a lot of stays of executions, and there's like a lot. He was on trial. He was in jail for about I think 8 years or so before he was executed. But what's crazy is that since he's acting as his own attorney, there are survivors that are coming up and they are testifying or giving their statements and having to answer questions from him, like on cross-examine. And so that's really weird. And the thing is that he wanted to relive everything. So he was questioning a police officer. I watched some of this. And what he did was he was like, this officer was like the first one on scene at the sorority house. And he was like, can you describe the scene exactly as you found it?
As he's getting a boner.
And listen. And so guys describes it, whatever. And then he's like, oh, can you go into more detail about that? And then he describes it again. And he's like, so tell me again about this. And I mean, finally the judge has to like, or whoever objects, and they're like, you've literally asked the same question, like repeating question, whatever.
But I wonder if he
is.
really didn't remember any of it because it happened so fast.
Who, Ted?
No, I'm talking about Ted. Like if he's asking this cop.
Oh no,
in details, what really happened.
No,
I was just wondering, like, if it's kind of like he blacked
asking
out.
it to relive it.
Relive.
He is 100% asking to relive it, and he's got the biggest heart on. At the same, it's actually on video, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like what happened? You did like it's so annoying.
It gives them that sense of power and control.
Yeah.
Again, just hearing what he did.
So then, at some point, there's also a lady who goes up. I can't remember which. I think I can't remember her name, but he's doing the same thing to her. He's asking her to give details of what happened, and he's being his own little lawyer self, and she would not give details. He got so mad, and he like slammed down his fist on the table, and he's like, you fucking have to answer me. And she was like, that's the monster, that's the thing that he can't control. And so it was like, it was just intense, it was crazy. There's all these witnesses, there's all these people who have survived, Carol DeRanch. So, multiple charges. I could go into more detail, but this is where we're going to get to our end, and this is when he gets sentenced. He's found guilty. Oh no, hang on, marriage.
He gets married to Boone.
Okay, this is so he's found guilty. He's going to be sentenced. He's going to be executed. This is during his sentencing phase. He surprised everyone because he's still his attorney. He calls Carol Boone as a character witness, which this is, she's been in his life at this point for several years, and she's always been by his side.
But I forgot how she came in.
Well.
How are they? Was she just a fan?
I think she just was part of trying to get him. She just thought he was innocent. I do know, but I can't remember.
Okay.
But I know that she was the one who slipped him the $500 so he could escape or helped him to escape. But she was always like, he's innocent, just like a number one. She's probably just a fan. Apparently in Florida, you can do these crazy things to where if you just say, Carol, will you marry me? And then they say, yeah, then that means you're married.
And you have conjugals.
Oh, yeah, they got conjugals after this. But all you have to do is say that, will you marry me? And then you're married. So then that's how they were married during the trial. Because I was like, he just asked, will you marry me? And she was like, yeah, I will marry you. But there was some like legal weird thing because, it's Florida. And so then they were married, and then they had all these conjugal visits because they were snuck in, I guess. And she got pregnant, and she had a baby, and they had a little girl.
Ted Bundy's got a daughter out there
named
I forgot
Rose.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But apparently Rose don't want to be found.
Obviously.
I would be like, I'm Rose Bundy. So,
oh my goodness.
Carol Boone, after so many years of having the back of Ted Bundy and thinking he's innocent, finally is like, maybe he's not innocent, and she divorces him.
Oh, thanks for that.
So after endless appeals, before being put to death, this is when Bundy gave details to Detective Bob Keppel, confessing to several murders, and he's talking about how he kept the heads of victims and how he was engaged in necrophilia, and which we already know, but this is when he finally admits it. And this is when, of course, he blamed everything on porn.
Porn, which is why we asked you if you've been exposed.
Yeah, because apparently that was the stimulant that caused all of his whole murderous rampage.
They also used him as a tool at one point in time.
Yes, they did use him as a tool, and he tried to bargain. He tried to get out of being executed, saying that he could help, and he did actually help with what's his face?
Gary Ridgway, Green River Killer.
Green River.
But I can't remember. But he helped catch him. I don't remember. I've never looked into the Green River Killer to see, like how much Bundy helped. That helped me. I mean, I still think. I see why we killed Bundy, because motherfucker would get out. Like, he would escape again because he's that smart.
Put a tracker on him, but you should use him for research.
Yeah. But that's why I think we should keep some of these, most of or all these serial killers alive, because we can learn from them.
Where's he buried at?
Wait, electrocution was scheduled. It was like a damn tailgate party out there. They were just like, burn, Bundy, burn, having signs. Tons of people showed up. They were selling T-shirts. It was like a whole party. Yeah. And they were just chanting it, burn, Bundy, burn. So,
April, what's a T-shirt?
You ready for this? 2,000 volts of electricity surged through his body. His hands and body tightened, and smoke could be seen coming from his right leg. Then the machine turned off, and Bundy was checked by the doctor one last time. And on January 24th, 1989, Theodore Robert Bundy, one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, died at 7:16 a.m. as crowds outside yelled, "Burn! Bundy, burn!" The end. And you know what? My last thing I have to say is thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Wait, what were his last words? You don't remember?
He said, like, tell my mom and tell somebody and somebody I love and care for them. It was stupid.
He had a steak done medium rare, eggs over easy, toast with butter and jelly, milk, coffee, juice, and hash browns for his last meal. And his last words were, Jim and Fred, I'd like to give my love to my family and friends. Who's Jim and Fred?
They were two of the detectives that were in there. They were the two people that were in there with him.
Oh, I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends.
That's literally all he did. That's all he said. That's why I didn't even say it. He was stupid.
Sometimes they say something real asshole-ish, like Gacy was like, kiss my ass, his last words.
What a dick.
Yeah. Okay. Did you see anything about where his ashes? Do you remember finding anything about that?
I didn't even look.
Okay. Well, this is just what I heard on a podcast.
Okay.
A good podcast that maybe then, I don't know if it's like that now, that we have to honor the dying wishes. So if somebody's executed.
Well, where's wishes?
If somebody's executed and they're cremated, we have to honor whatever their wishes. They don't have any wishes. They're buried in the cemetery. So like David Wayne Spence.
He probably went in Taylor
Mountain. He wanted to come home to Waco, so he's buried in Waco, right? Mm-hmm. He's
back in Washington in the park.
In the
Mountain?
Taylor Mountain. He wanted to be cremated and his ashes spread where his victims' body, where he killed his victims' bodies. Well, yeah. And they had to honor that. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Is that like an execution thing in general, or is it just Florida? Because I think I've heard that from...
I don't know. I don't know if we even still have to do that. Maybe I should research that further. but I think I heard it on 2 different podcasts years ago, and that stuck with me because I was like, that's his last jab or his last sense of control. Or there's just, that was his, I don't know. It was pretty shitty though.
And this also included his ashes.
What
We
about his
don't know if
bug?
his mother or whoever was involved in spreading his ashes at the Cascade Mountains in Washington State.
Okay, read all that. Okay, so Caroline, did you find that part yet?
I found it. It says Ted Bundy's will, signed the night before his execution, gave the serial killer's attorney, whoever, Diana Weiner. Oh gosh, Weiner. Of Sarasota, Florida, control of his remains, personal property, and assets. This included Bundy's ashes. We don't know if his mother or his wife, Carol Ann Boone, were involved in spreading his ashes, but they were spread at Cascade Mountains in Washington State. It's possible that Bundy's wishes regarding his ashes were never fulfilled.
Okay.
We will never know the true fate of his remains, as Bundy's mother passed away in 2013 and Carol Ann Boone vanished into thin air after the trial, along with the daughter she claimed was Bundy's.
Nope, she took the ashes.
I think her
They're with
dumbass
her.
did.
Well, she at least should sell them or something.
They're
I mean,
on her
I'd buy
mantle.
like a teaspoon.
Yeah, like selling baggies.
I'd buy a teaspoon of ashes.
would you
Just
do with
think
the
about
ashes?
every time I had a house party. Guess what this is right here. These are Ted Bundy's. It's like like when we talked about the Jeffrey Dahmer. Remember his apartment? They were selling like the refrigerator and the deep freezer that he kept the body parts, and people wanted to buy.
Can I close this now? At least?
Can you imagine, like, Caroline, how many would you not be excited if you came to my house and I had Jeffrey Dahmer recliner?
Are we ever
She hates
funny?
being serious.
I need some jokes every now and then. I mean, I
You
was going
just
to
had a
talk
big
about
job.
Jesse Smollett, when he was got it.
You just had a big job and your brain's just like overwhelmed.
Look, that was like 15 pages.
It was a dissertation.
Yeah.
Basically
Gosh, I
a
don't
Bundy
even know how to say
dissertation.
that dissertation.
You
That
have
was-
your master's.
I basically do have my master's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
You have your master's degree now. She did a
Wow.
great job. We are done with serial killers, y'all. We have no idea what's coming next month.
It's
We have
probably
no
gonna
idea.
be random and amazing.
Yeah, maybe we should just take a break and be random. Don't forget, right now, go to your Spotify app and rate us the 5-star so that when they search us on Spotify, you see the 5-star rating. Also, on your podcast platform, you say stay aware, I say stay alive, and you say always be DTF.
Okay, do it. Wait, what?
Aware.
Don't
alive,
forget to
DTF.
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
That's literally how we just did it.
Thank you for coming to my
And she
TED
didn't
Talk.
even drink.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.